Hi, I'm Jeff Gunn, the author of the Hidden Sounds, Discover Your Own Method on Guitar series, books 1 through 4. And today I'm very happy to be here with Canadian Musician Magazine and share a few examples from each book. The following excerpts come from the Hidden Sounds, Discover Your Own Method on Guitar series, book 2, The Power of Imitation, interpreting instruments and effects pedals on the guitar. And what the book really looks at is what we learn by attempting to imitate other instruments or effects pedals, and then what we can learn from that experience and apply to other areas that we're playing. The first thing I'm going to focus on today is from that book. It's a chapter that we do on DJ record scratching. And what we want to do in this case is we're going to take our strumming hand and we're going to take our index finger, middle finger, and in some cases also our ring finger. We're going to place it on the bottom 3 strings like this. Okay? Now I can arrange the sounds by moving either right or left. Let me give you an example. There's actually a different sound there if you listen really carefully. Okay? I'm going to play the same progression now, and I'm going to use variations going at some cases all right, all left, and mixing it up, and you can actually hear the distinction in each one. Okay. Now, 2 of the variables we have to think about when we're doing this kind of technique is basically how much pressure we're putting on the string, which direction we're going, and actually which string are we using, because each string has its own distinct voice. Let me give you an example. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to share an example of how you can actually use this in a song based on an excerpt from a song that I wrote. Okay, and you can do all kinds of interesting things, whether you're a solo guitarist and want to do interaction between different parts, or someone like Tom Morello, basically from Rage Against the Machine, who also did a lot of record scratching on in his lead playing. This is another example of how you can actually use it. So I'm going to share an excerpt from book 2, chapter 6, which deals with imitating the volume pedal. Okay, and one thing we can do is by using our pinky and putting it on the volume knob, actually, we can get a range of different sounds. Let me show you with a G minor chord what we could do. Now, depending on what speed we use, when we're going from 0 to 10 on the knob, or 5 to 10, depending on which one you like, or going down, it will shape and warp the sound, as I call it. Let's try it. Almost like a tremolo type of effect, depending on how rapidly we move our finger. Let me show you an example with a couple of different chords. So you can get a sense of what kind of cool things you could do in a band setting if you're writing your own songs or playing. You can actually get a lot of different sounds. Now, one thing I want to share with you as well is what we can do by adding a little bit of distortion to it and playing some lead lines using our imitation of the volume pedal. And notice how it actually strangely sounds almost like a harmonica. Okay? And it's a sound that I've used many times playing live with such artists as K-Sun and Emmanuel. And it's something that you can use when you are playing chords as a rhythm player or a lead. And I'll give you another sound to your own personal sound.